Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday with me, Ryan, aka Sifu Messiah. This is a weekly show which covers everything from the world of Star Citizen over the past week. Links can be found in the description for everything we discuss, so let's get on with it. This week we hear how Star Citizen's FPS will likely feel, Around the Verse reveals more of the Starfarer's interior, plus details on 2 game package giveaways coming soon. If you are still to sign up to the RSI website, please use my referral code as shown on screen or in the description, and you will receive 5,000 United Earth credits which can be spent in the Voyager Direct store for your ships, your character, or whatever you choose. You don't have to spend anything to sign up, it's only once you pledge that I'll be granted an RP point, which will get me some little rewards in the future. So this week's 10-4 was 10 for the developers, and it was Sean Tracy, who is the technical director of content, and Stephen Bender, who is the animations director, a very interesting combination. First question being, could alien armor be retrofitted for human use, like a Vandal chess piece for human pilots? And he said, imagine going up to Shaquille O'Neal and asking to wear his shoes. He says you won't be killing Vandal and looting them to get their armor, because the Vandal are 8 feet tall, so there's no way it would fit you. But some armor may be inspired by aliens for use by humans. Next question, will we have variable character width, or will there be other ways to enhance or diminish the sense of physical character presence for our characters? Now they say width was removed from the CryEngine a while ago, and with the current character creator they are looking into how much they want to allow in way of width enhancement. We will have the ability to adjust our character's physical body, but to what depth is still to be determined, and they are still testing it. And I know they said before, we all have to fit in the same size seats of the cockpits, so you can't be super fat and you can't be super thin. Also, during this question, they said that they're working on animations, and the animations we see now are actually the base set. They will be building on this, so what you see in Crusader is not the final animation set. They did say that you'll be able to have the choice of walk style, so if you want to be more of a macho type of guy, then you'll have more of a muscular walk style, and so on and so forth. So it does actually sound like we'll be able to have different character movements for ourselves, so we're not all doing the same animation over and over again, which is wonderful, because whenever someone starts an animation at the same time and everyone just does the same thing right next to each other, it looks ridiculous. So this is kind of cool. Third question, will we be able to use hand signals to guide ships for tactics, etc.? Also, can we interact with characters by pushing them, pulling them, so on and so forth? Now they say that we'll see certain emotes and animations with NPCs, like guiding air traffic. I think they said they actually have an air traffic controller with his own emotes. You'll see them eating, you'll see bartenders serving drinks, people delivering champagne and so forth in the Astro Armadas. There's lots of motion captures being done now as well for all these environments. So the challenging thing is to get it to play well together. So the AI can be controlled, but for players it's more restrictive. But any emote that we see can essentially be used for jobs. So if you want to be an air traffic controller, then they may be able to give you those emotes that you see the NPCs using. But it also goes to interacting with other players. If you want to hug someone, then they'll need to accept that you want to hug them and hug you back. So it's all about balancing and figuring out which ones will work and which ones won't. So we may see some down the line. Next question, will we have manual control on ladders? Now this must have confused a few people when they see them going up and down ladders in the Constellation or into your Aurora cockpit. If it's in FPS, so an FPS level, then you will be able to climb up and down just like you can in most games. It won't be you get on the ladder and then you have to go up all the way before you can come down again. These ladders will be more interactive compared to ship ladders. Ship ladders are items within a ship at the moment, and so far you can only just enter and exit, which is likely to be the way in the future. If it's a small ladder to get into the cockpit, then you will just have to hit it once and then you'll go in. You'll have to allow that animation to play out. They are still working on 3 different speeds for getting in and out of your cockpits. They'll have the one we see now, which is quite slow and lethargic, quite relaxed. There'll be a more prompt one, just slightly quicker. And then there'll be an emergency one, which is much quicker. You'll practically clear 2/3 of the ladder in a jump, and then when you're exiting the ship, you'll just jump from the top of the ladder as well. Pretty cool, but the only downside is that if you are getting into a ladder and you have decided to go in casually, or you accidentally hit the button for a casual get into your ship, you can't cancel it halfway through by the sounds of it. So you may think it's clear and start climbing into your ship nice and slowly, but then out of nowhere someone starts taking shots at you, and you're having to frustratedly wait for him to get in. Hopefully there'll be a way of speeding it up halfway through. Who knows? So next question, how smooth will the final third-person animations look? They said it's certainly a problem trying to get a realistic third-person animation and putting it into first. Because when you can't see your body, you get a very unusual movement in first person, which just feels wrong and uncontrollable. And the way they're doing it is they start with a third-person capture, and then they sort of break it down into first. They said it's just a big balancing act, making sure that it works well in both first and third, because most games that we see that are first person, basically a floating camera and your gun just sort of shoots to the middle. It's not going to be like that, but it is a big balancing act at the moment. Next question, will character animations change when injuries are incurred? For example, if you shoot the right arm, will it go limp? And if shot in the leg, will you also limp and move slower? They say yes, your characters will change in movement and interaction. If you are shot in the arm, then it's practically going to be non-usable to a point. Again, it's about balancing, because when they were shot in the legs, they don't want it to feel too slow, which is what was happening when they did the mocap. He said it looks good on camera, but it felt too slow in third and first person. You will be limping or holding your arm in a certain raised way. It won't just go limp and dangle, you'll hold it above your heart so that you don't bleed out. But also, when shot in the arm, you may draw your pistol and shoot one-handed, which will obviously be less accurate. The reloading may be a bit slower as well, but there's some sort of cool Special Forces one-handed reload that they saw when they were doing the mocap. The Special Forces guy did some really weird thing when he held the clip back, and I don't even know, but yeah, it sounds like there's going to be some interesting reloads going on. Anyway, next question, they said they've noticed a lot of falling through the ships in Crusader. What are the future plans to create a reliable collision? Now, Sean was saying that this is normal teething pains when working on a physics system. Things like this will be sorted out as and when they run into them. Currently, it's either one of two issues. Either the code is messed up when transferring from space to ship, or the asset is broken, like one piece of mesh is not streaming in. As he said, normal teething pains, they will get this sorted out for the main PU, and sooner or later it'll be completely gone. Don't worry about it. Second to last question, how will FPS combat feel when done? How will our characters take cover and move around? And what is the closest game you could compare it to? So to start with, they mentioned that you will be able to take cover. I think the covers system and some more FPS updates will be coming with 2.2, if not 2.3. It says you will draw your gun up when you go into cover, you'll slide back and forth along that cover, and then when you reach the edge, your weapon will likely switch to the other side so you can peek around the corner. And if you need to step out and fire, then you will do so. Similar to other games, I expect. He said it'll be a mix between armour, but not as realistic, and fun like Battlefield, but not as sort of arcadey as Call of Duty or Battlefield is. So it's sort of like a middle ground between armour and Battlefield. They'll be taking pieces of each of them and then building something completely unique. He said you cannot really pin it to one game. It's not a Twitch fast shooter. They want to promote aim-down sights, tactics and team play. They did mention that Battlefield's character's top half will rotate almost 180 degrees before the legs will reorientate to align. In Star Citizen right now, it's sort of more like shuffling and then the feet catch up. The animations will be balanced depending on sort of no weapon and with weapon. And if with weapon, you will more likely align your feet at a lesser degree than you would without a weapon. So they have more freedom when you don't have a weapon, because obviously there's not really as much detriment for you to align and get settled, ready to aim, so it'll be more relaxed. Anyway, final question, in melee combat, will there be blocking, parrying? What will you look to for reference on how it will look? Now, they said they will give us a lot of freedom. It won't be quick time events like we see in modern games now. They're looking at martial arts like Eskrima, Kali, and military training, but they're talking about things like jabs, swipes, parries, etc, etc. They want it to be fluid, more like a bar fight, and I remember Chris Roberts saying a while ago that there will be certain martial arts and certain systems that you can learn, or your character can learn, hopefully sort of like Shenmue maybe, and use them after you've learnt them, and have a proper fight club. That would be cool. But anyway, that was 10 for the developers. Let me know your thoughts. Let's move on to Around the Verse. So in Around the Verse, Sandy and Ben started off by mentioning the PAX South Free Fly finishes today, being Sunday, so at the end of today I think it's likely to completely finish. Also, the Star Citizen and Squadron 42 bundle for $45 will be finished as well. So if you haven't bought one yet, get it quick before it runs out. Don't forget to use my referral code. Straight on to news from Around the Verse. LA office say they're optimizing ships to get them up to standard. They're working on scout thrusters, shield designs, different components. They're also working on tools for the Item 2.0, and Bug Smasher guy Mark Abent is focused on Weapons 2.0. Austin CIG, they are planning for the next mocap. They'll be adding these to the environments for places like Levski and Hurston. Animations like drug deals that have gone wrong and gone right. Prison scenes or jail scenes. Police station scenes as well, with people being handcuffed. Cops doing their thing on their day off, or, you know, just the general walkabout stuff. Also, hospital animations are going to change due to the over-the-top animations from before. If you saw the South by Southwest animations, you'll see people throwing up, rolling around on the floor, acting like they're in severe pain. They say they want it to be more believable, because most times when you go to the hospital, there's just people waiting for a flu jab or a checkup. Not everyone is vomiting everywhere, so there'll be more people like that in your waiting rooms, just to give more immersion to it. They're also setting up selling functionality review, They've got buying in place and they're testing it soon, but they're going to look towards selling as well to get the whole package. Also, this will include inventory and storage in your hangars, your ships, and you personally. Onto Foundry 42 in the UK, they are doing a big UI update. There's going to be a new personal manager mobiGlas app which manages your character's inventory, your clothing, and pretty much where your things are stored on the body. They want it to be diegetic UI as well, so it's in the fictional game world for immersion, so you don't have to break out maybe like you see in DayZ or places like that. It's going to be more on your body, a bit like Dead Space perhaps, where you can see your health bar on your back. In a way, sort of like that, I believe. They're also pushing to improve the party system. They've taken our feedback. They want to make it easier to join friends. We shall see that shortly. They're mocking up holotable redesign as well, which will work for Crusader 2, so we can fit new things to our ships and use them in Crusader, not just Arena Commander. Anyway, on to Foundry 42 in Frankfurt. The focus is on UI and the conversation system in specific with AI. This will play in hand with Squadron 42. They've got lots of meetings about Squadron 42, plus some PU stuff. Procedural tech, they say, is looking really, really good. It will be great when they can get it into our hands sometime in the future. Now, the interview was with Jason Cole this week. He's the senior cinematics editor at Squadron 42. He's based in Frankfurt, taking his holiday in LA, and they called him in on his day off. Do check the ATV link below to watch that. Witch Glitch was back, so I'll show that in the background while we're talking. The most valuable post went to a chap called Render G for his custom Star Citizen control panel. It looks really, really cool, this, from concept to creation. And then the sneak peek is some Starfarer LODs, level of details, which we saw last week, where the further away you get, the less detail there is with the ship. And some more screens. Again, they keep teasing us with the Starfarer. Anyway, that was Around the Verse. Let me know what you think. So also this week we had a post regarding the new package split, give you the reasons why they're doing it and what it means. Galactic Guide this week was of the Horror system. Check the link below if you wish to visit there. We had a new post titled Something Every Tuesday Lost Squad, which to me feels a bit like an Ellen DeGeneres kind of show. Give it a read, it is very interesting in itself. Bug Smashers episode 19 is available too, so again, check the description if you want to watch that. And finally, February's subscriber flare is the Mustang Beta Takietsu model. Okay, I just want to bring up a couple of three things. The first one is I am now streaming on Twitch 3 days a week, all being well, Monday, Wednesday and Friday between 7:30 and 10 PM GMT, so that's around 2 to 3 in the afternoon in the US. Usually it's Star Citizen I stream, and if the viewers are able to get into my instance, then we'll all fly together. Do click the link in the description and don't forget to follow me. Secondly, we're on Twitter as well, at SuperMacBrother. This is probably the best place to keep up with all that's going on with my YouTube and Twitch. For example, if I can't get on Twitch one night, then that's the first place I will let people know. And thirdly, I have picked up an Aurora MR package, and a very kind subscriber called Captain Webby has also got an Aurora LN package, plus 2 $15 gift cards, in which he will allow me to give away on my YouTube and on Twitch. So I'll give one away on Twitch, one away on YouTube. The intention is to give it away to someone who hasn't been able to back for the game, but if you have a friend who wants in and they've not been able to get in either, then you will be able to enter. Details on these two giveaways will be coming soon, so again, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Twitch and follow me on Twitter. Thank you. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our subscribers, plus a massive thank you to our patrons as you make this possible. If you like what we do and want to help us make it better, follow the link in the description to our Patreon page to learn more.